The man WHO bet on himself when everyone called him crazy. At the height of his career, his company was generating $4 billion a year in revenue. At one point, during the .com boom, the business was valued at $35 billion. But the story didn't begin with billions. It began with a decision that looked reckless to everyone watching. The moment he walked away in the mid-1990s, he had what most people would call a dream job, a powerful position, prestige, security. He was working for a major company, sitting on $3 million in stock options, with a future already written for him. Then he saw something. Everywhere he looked, magazines, headlines, Business Week covers, he saw ordinary people starting technology companies. And a thought hit him. Why not me? Instead of going back to business school, instead of climbing the safe corporate ladder, he quit. He walked away from the job, walked away from the money, walked away from certainty, and decided to bet on himself. He moved to Boston to start a company with no funding, no proven technology, no CEO title, and no safety net, while commuting nearly 3,000 miles back and forth to make it work. People thought he had lost his mind. The truth about entrepreneurship: when people talk about entrepreneurship, they make it sound glamorous. He tells the truth. It's not sexy. It's long hours, 100-hour weeks, relentless pressure. Not everyone is built for it. You can learn the skills, but not everyone is willing to make the sacrifice. That's why most people admire entrepreneurs, but never become one. Why the future belongs to AI. When asked about the future of technology, he doesn't hesitate. Artificial intelligence, period. AI doesn't just change businesses, it changes time. He stopped using traditional search engines. He uses AI constantly, dozens, sometimes hundreds of searches a day. It saves him 3 to 4 hours daily. And his warning is clear. If business owners don't learn how to use AI properly, they will be left behind. Not because AI replaces them, but because someone else will use it better. The golden handcuffs. Most people stay stuck because they're wearing what he calls golden handcuffs. Great salary, great benefits, great comfort, and just enough fear to never leave. But he believes there is no better person to bet on than yourself. When he left his job, people didn't support him. They doubted him. They said leaving millions behind to start an unfunded, unproven company with untested technology was insane. He listened. Then he moved anyway, where he really learned to sell long before tech, long before billion-dollar valuations. He learned sales the hard way. In college, at the University of Michigan, selling t-shirts door to door. He knocked on every door, got kicked out of dorms, rejected over and over again. But he learned something priceless. Rejection is training. The first 100 times, people say no. The 101st time, someone says yes, and suddenly, the first 99 don't matter anymore. Sales became one of the most valuable skills of his life. Going against giants. When he launched his company, he looked around and saw competitors with unlimited resources. Microsoft alone was worth $50 billion at the time. His company had raised just $12 million. The odds were brutal, but instead of backing down, he made a decision. Screw the odds. They were going to compete anyway. The letters that changed everything. At one point, he found himself in Los Angeles with $3,000 left in the bank. 5 weeks later, he lost his job. Most people would panic. He wrote letters, 300 of them. Each letter took hours, carefully researched, deeply personal. Everyone told him it was a waste of time. These CEOs will never meet you. Your idea is stupid. This won't work. He trusted his gut. Out of 300 letters, he got 80 meetings. One of those meetings landed him his dream job, working for one of the most successful business leaders on the planet. The lesson that changed everything: after all those meetings with CEOs of Disney, Viacom, and public companies, one man in Detroit asked him a simple question: do you ask for the job? He said no. He felt bad taking their time. The man looked at him and said something that hit like lightning. People don't he wake up and say, I need life insurance today. You have to ask for the order. That was the moment it clicked. Closed mouth doesn't get fed. From that point on, he started asking, and he started winning. The real secret: relationships. Relationships weren't optional in his career. They were everything. He stayed in touch, sent notes, checked in every few months. He learned that the most successful people spend time every week doing one simple thing: reaching out. And he always ended meetings with one powerful question: what can I help you with? Almost no one asked that. And that's why it works. An awkward moment with Steve Jobs, the richest person he ever met. Steve Jobs, Apple was one of his company's biggest customers. One night at a hotel, he saw Jobs sitting with his family. His wife challenged him to go say hello. He did. It was awkward. Short, uncomfortable. Jobs asked him one question. You must have made a lot of money. He said yes. That was it. No wisdom, no speech, just a moment. And a reminder, even legends are human. The real superpower, his superpower wasn't genius. It was tenacity. As a child, he stuttered. He was bullied, mocked. So every night, he practiced speaking 2 hours a night. Day after day, year after year. People doubted him. He didn't argue. He prepared. And preparation changed everything. The final message today. He's a CEO founder of a $12 billion company. He's 57 years old. And if he had one message for the next generation, it would be simple. Never give up. Bet on yourself. Persistence wins. Prepare more than anyone else. Most people spend 25,000 hours in school, but only 15 minutes preparing for interviews that shape their entire lives. Extreme preparation changes outcomes. And that's the untold truth.